Most martial arts schools and instructors train their students under static conditions with a compliant training partner. While this can be a valuable first step in understanding a technique, there's a very long process of learning as to whether a specific training technique is valuable and effective when under pressure or even being attacked. The biggest challenge is that the human mind is not usually trained to perform when under tremendous stress. Most martial arts training programs train single complicated technical maneuvers or techniques against a generally passive aggressor. And most of these passive techniques are rarely effective when a person is actually being attacked or in a life-threatening situation. Additionally, attackers are rarely stopped under any condition unless they're disabled or injured, and very few training schools teach and practice this actual concept. This is essential because our brains and our bodies respond differently when under a great deal of stress. When we feel safe and we're not experiencing resistance from an opponent, our brain can perform all sorts of complicated movements and complex motor skills. Yet, as soon as resistance gets applied and there is an actual perceived threat to life, physical applications of response change, as does the inner workings of our brain function. When under a real threat, adrenaline and dopamine are released into the brain, the body changes from its ability to use complex fine motor control to a fight or flight response, and the brain shifts to using large exaggerated muscle movements. Under stress, the body and brain rely upon gross motor skills for defense and flight. Even in professional fighters who are great in the cage, when thrown into a spontaneous brawl, they throw wild, large punches like everyone else. Even a Tai Chi master with decades of skill is unable to fall back on complex training when under tremendous life and death pressure.
You gotta be ready. Everything coming in at you. There you go.
The key then is to understand that this shift occurs within the brain when placed under tremendous stress, and that neural hormone responses change significantly. To be successful, a considerable part of one's training must be learning to function when adrenaline and dopamine are at a very high level.
You can dictate where it's living. Yeah. But he's using
Even though a skill is practiced over and over, when put under stress, the fine motor control and use of that movement is changed under the fight or flight or dopamine and adrenaline response in the brain. That's why full contact sparring becomes so essential as part of one's training program. Without the presence of an active aggressor and the threat of injury, it becomes nearly impossible to learn to control the exaggerated movements that occur with dopamine and adrenaline.
For tournament fighting. Good. Okay? So you feint him. Try to get into thrust. Leave your thrust. Okay, look at that. Good, good. Oh.
During a high-stress response, the sympathetic branch of the autonomic nervous system takes on a predominant role. Increased alertness, focused attention, and improved cognitive performance will usually be experienced. Our visual, auditory, and olfactory senses are often enhanced. At the same time, balance and fine motor coordination are impeded by release of glucocorticoids during the high-stress response, and the anxiety induced by high stress further impedes fine motor control.
You gotta be so fast with your ghost. Be on top of this, or top with your longer sword, over, drop it over here. Come with this, and hope I don't get you here. So block mine, and then hit me, and go back to block. Yeah. So it's like crack, crack, crack.
That's why swordplay of this level and caliber is usually only seen by those who've been practicing, participating in continuous sparring for years.
You stopped at him. Let's get going.
I stopped. That's left.
Let's take it out of the field. So we take it right. Okay, after you make your initial attack, you're that far out, you're never going to catch that blade. So get out of the way. Don't bother coming in. Okay, you kind of came in, when you came in further, but he already blocked you. And he had you to stay. If you don't already kill him by that point.
Back out.
You're not going to get it.
Okay.
And you're going to learn all this as you're doing it to see when I do it, which is what I'm doing.
This feels so awkward right now. I'm just way back there like that. But that's what they do.
Until you learn how to fight it, it's a really, really good, as I showed you, it's a really good killing technique if you learn how to fight it. As soon as he moves, what should you be doing?
On top of it.
I'm thrusting with your long blade.
Yep.
As soon as he moves. Like that. See? Just like that. As soon as they move, you're already thrusting for the blade.
As soon as you see me do this. Yep, as soon as I see you switch.
Yeah, you're already thrusting. Well, it's only down. Let's see how far back it is. What's my thing? My thing is where we engage, right? So you need to break it out of the way to come through. You can't engage that way.
Oh, he's already got me. Twice.
See? And he brings it into the head and he blocks him coming down low. Good, good. So I'm going to get down lower, okay? Stuck the key. Well, just watch what happens.
Okay.
Keep my distance also, see? Okay. Yeah, I told him to get back to it now by go back here. How you gonna get on top of that? Yeah, because it's fast. And as soon as you're moving, as soon as you start moving, you gotta be able to block and bring your blade over his ghost, sticking the head of the body. If that one blocking you, then you get ready for your secondary effect your head of that ghost. Right?
The key then to good training is using changing scenarios, multiple weapons, and unpredictability while training a specific technique.
Making is always good. Okay, it's hard, huh? Okay. Think about how you're going to think.